All right, everybody. So today we're focusing on the new countertop epoxy kits. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a nice little dirty pour, and you're gonna be able to see how you can create a black marble finish real easy using our high performance Superclear countertop epoxy. In that kit comes Eye Candy's Airy White, Eye Candy's Samurai Black, our Supercolors Black, and our Supercolors White. So we're gonna go ahead and start mixing this up. So I'm gonna probably do roughly 48 ounces total. So we're gonna pour 32 ounces of A. All right, now for our B. We're gonna pour 16 ounces of our B. Remember, this is a 2-to-1 formula. So 2 parts of A to 1 part of B. All right, don't forget, scrape your bottom and your sides while you're mixing. So this you're gonna stir for, you're gonna mix this for roughly 8 to 10 minutes in total to ensure that you're getting a good mix. I always stop here and there, go ahead and scrape a little on the side and the bottom, just to ensure that there's no unmixed material that's kind of hanging back that you end up getting into your pour later. All right, so we're done mixing the total epoxy we're gonna use. Roughly, you can use about anywhere from 2 to 3 ounces per square foot. You could also use more if you like. If you want it thicker, great. Go ahead and do it that way. But 2 to 3 is generally the kind of the rule of thumb. The key though is, and let me divvy this up, as you are adding your colorants to ensure that you have great hide. You don't want to be able to see through that material. You don't want it translucent, you want it opaque. So you're obviously gonna want to have set aside more epoxy for your darks and less epoxy for your lights. Typically, I wouldn't add too much in. I'd add probably like 1 little scoop, right? But because I wanna overload it, I wanna have a bunch of hide, or good hide, I'm gonna put more in there. All right, so this is for the white. This is the white Supercolors. Here's the black Supercolors. I'm gonna put more than I typically do. This stuff is really concentrated, so you know you can put in roughly up to like 6 to 8% per volume, and your cure is still gonna be fine. So I wouldn't be too concerned about over pigmenting. And here's our Samurai Black. So we're gonna just start mixing this up. Mixing it in. You see how this is, the Airy White is kind of clear, but it's got like a lot of sparkle to it. So what you can do, because keep in mind that hide is important, what you can do is add a little white to it, and that'll give that a color backing, right? Not too much, because you don't want to take or overtake that colorant, but you see how it gets a little milky? But it didn't take away any of that sparkle. So, all right, now we're gonna mix the white, make sure that that's nice and opaque. And what we're going for here is milk, essentially. More like cream, because milk you can see through like 2% or whatever. But like what you're looking for is like a cream white color. And you see how that hides underneath? Here. Same with the black. That's just like ink. It's like squid ink black. Barely even had to mix that. And the great thing about this black though, if you're doing tables, it's great because you can mix it in at whatever concentration you want, and you can have translucent kind of smoky look, or you can have a nice jet black appearance. All right, now we're gonna go with the Samurai Black, which is more of like a really dark gray. So, you know, this is your project, right? This is your project. You can go ahead and do this however you want. If you don't like how gray that is, if you want something a little bit more black, go for it. Add some of that black as a backing color to it and get it how you want it. It's really, really easy. It can enhance it. We'll just go ahead and do that now. Just a little bit, because I don't want to overtake it. You do got to be careful with it, right? Just like maybe 4 drops, 5 drops in there. All right, so now that we've got these all mixed up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a little trick, right? So with this, because I want these, the area white has got a lot of glitter in it, and sometimes that glitter can kind of settle out. Well, in order to keep that kind of moving and floating is I'm gonna excite the epoxy. So epoxy naturally moves as it's curing anyways. You can kind of see that in a lot of the deeper pours that folks do, like river tables. You can see how it kind of plumes a little bit all on its own. That's because the epoxy is moving as it's curing. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep those glitter pieces suspended by exciting it. How am I gonna excite it? I'm gonna add just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. So watch this. So there's some isopropyl alcohol in there. I'm gonna stir that up. You see how it's moving? You can see how it's moving right here, right now. And that's what that's gonna do. It's almost like upwelling in an ocean. It's gonna take what's on the bottom and move it to the top. All right, now it's time for the dirty pour. How are you gonna do a dirty pour? Well, you're gonna start with a base, right? You're gonna start with one color, that's this one. Because black is the majority. I'm gonna go in with this one. Maybe I'll do a little more black, right? I'm gonna go in with this one. Some black base. Some white, airy white. Some more black base. And you're just gonna keep going, right? All right, so we've got all this stuff poured out. Now it's time to do the actual pour and clean this up. All right, so now it doesn't matter how you attack this, it's up to you. I'm just gonna put a little over here. All right, so you can already see, remember when I put in that isopropyl alcohol? You see how it's getting those kind of little spots? It's gonna move around, and you can even come in here with your hands and kind of just break the surface tension a little bit, and it'll flow a little easier. Because by breaking the surface tension, it removes any obstacle for this epoxy to flow. You notice that there are spots where it didn't flow. That's because there was actual surface tension. So now it'll flow much, much easier. You can even use, like I can use this out here just to break the surface tension. So on a static piece, this is important that you break this surface tension, right? Because you definitely can't lift it up, move it around, things like that. So you're gonna have to do that. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna allow this to start to level out on its own, gel up, start to hit that gel process. I'm gonna come back and check it, and I'm gonna be looking for certain things, right? So especially how gelled it is, because that's gonna tell me when I wanna pull my tape. So once I pull my tape, and it's at the right consistency that I'm looking for, then what I can do is I just pull my tape and then it flows over. And because it started to hit that gel process, whatever design is up here is gonna primarily stay. And then by pulling that tape, it's gonna cover the outsides of it, and you're good to go after that. Now there are some other options that you can do right now. You can hit it with a little isopropyl alcohol, and what that's gonna do is that's gonna go ahead and start selling up just like these, and it's gonna create some cool little marbling effects. If you're gonna do that, you definitely need to not atomize it completely. You want it to, like that, right? You want big droplets. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that just a little bit, right? You see how it did that over there? And then I'll go over there. I don't want to saturate it because I kind of like where it's going right now. Really cool. It's got these big cells right here. It's got a little bit of cells already. And then it's got a little bit of cells that I put in there just a few seconds ago when I sprayed the ISO. So I don't want to do it too much because it's got these really nice grains already kind of rolling through it. Right here, you can kind of see it in here, how it's kind of waved like that. It's really, really neat. And going around. So it's really up to you how you want this to look. So to pop the bubbles, before we let it start to gel up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit it with a little denatured, or you can go over it with a heat gun. So I'm just gonna hit it with a little denatured. I don't want to flood it entirely, but that should take care of the bubbles on top. And we're ready to go. We're ready to just let this do its thing, and then we'll be back. All right guys, we're back, and this is right where I want it. It doesn't move very fast, right? You can see that that's gelled. So it's real, real nice. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the tape and then let it roll, and that's it. Once those little, they're kind of like icicles. Once they come down, they'll cure that way. You can come up under it with an orbital sander and just hit it, and it's good to go. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna pull this, right? I'm just gonna tear it, pull it. We're gonna go all the way around. If this was a countertop, you're just doing one side, right? Up at the front, and then it's gonna start to flow off, right? Right here, you see how these are dripping? All you're gonna do is break the surface tension so that as it rolls over evenly, right? That's it, super easy. All right, so we're done. We've broken the surface tension around the sides. We've poured this, all the way from mixing to divvying out our colors, why you want more color added so you have better hide. As you can see, you can't see anything underneath it, but you can see how easy this is. This is extremely easy using our high performance countertop epoxy along with the color kits that we send with it. So stay tuned, we're gonna have more color kits coming your way, and we'll show you just how easy all of those are, just like this one. Thanks, see you guys.